rec session. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Yeah. For our moment of silence, we're going to have a prayer by Ashley.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashley Roush. Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, you are mighty and powerful. You are all-knowing and trustworthy. I thank you and praise you for this. This world can make us so anxious, but you called us to be steadfast and to not be afraid, but to trust. Since you have given us the promise that you will never leave us, I humbly and boldly make these requests on behalf of the St. Mary's School Board. Lord, I pray for your breath of peace and calmness to descend upon this room and all who are here. I pray for clarity and direction in all the decisions that have to be made. I pray for wisdom and creativity for problem solving. I pray for unity and understanding as members listen to one another and collaborate. I pray that the focus will ever be present. I pray that you will help us to remember why we are here, to support our students and their families, our staff and the communities of St. Mary's. Help us to picture this focus. I commit all these things into your powerful and trustworthy hands. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ashley. Consent agenda action items. Minutes, notice of special meeting, September 29th, 2025. B, bills. C, financial report. D, employment. Viviana Bailey, Hayburn Elementary School, 21st Century After School Program Director, part-time. Patricia Jean Biggerstaff, Hayburn Elementary School Special Education Paraprofessional 1. Teresa Marie Deaver, Substitute Teacher, Paraprofessional. Lisa Jean Douglas, Hayburn Elementary School 21st Century After School Program Director, part-time. Ben Lee Everidge, Transportation Department Mechanic, Driver. Kaylee Marie Wilborn, Substitute Teacher, Paraprofessional, 2025-2026, Fall Coaching and Volunteer updated. And then retirement. Medosta Menendez Rios, Upriver School Maintenance and Custodial, effective October 17th, 2025.
Move those as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Is she here?
Oh, wait, I don't know. Are they here? Yeah, they're there.
Do we want to do something now for the retirement or afterwards?
Oh, my God. Should we do something later for that?
Okay. All right.
Or did you just, well, we do want to say thank you, an extra special thank you to Modesto. Is he here right now? No, Modesto.
Modesto.
Okay.
Okay.
I see, yeah, good point. We just want to say an extra special thank you. I know she's done a fantastic job and takes a lot of pride in keeping Upriver clean and just, yeah, polished and signed and ready for the kids and the staff. And we'll definitely be celebrating her again. But let her know we said thank you.
All right. Presentation agenda. 2024-2025 audit report. Did that.
We have, from Hayden and Ross, we have Bailey Schneider and Erica Best. She'll be out here in a minute. You know that the audit is required by state, by Idaho code, and so they perform it each year, present it, and we have to present this to the State Department in order for us to receive state funding.
Thank you.
Oh, you're good.
Bailey's been a part of our audit for a few years now, but she's been the head honcho for the last 2 or 3 years, so, yes.
All right, hello everyone. Like Danette said, I'm Bailey Schneider and I'm the district auditor. Before I get started, I did hand Danette a letter. It's our ending governance letter, and it's just some required communication for the board, and it goes over some upcoming standards that the district will have in the coming years. We had no disagreements with management. Danette is great to work with. We love working with her every single year. She makes it very, very easy on us. And then it also talks about some estimated, significant estimates in your financial statements, and that's really just going to be your capital asset useful lives. So I handed each of you guys 2 packets. The thicker packet is your actual financial statements. We're actually not going to dive into those, but I did put 1 tab on there, and it's your budget to actual for your general fund. And if I was the board, that would be the one page that I would be the most interested in to see how the district did compared to what they actually budgeted. We are going to spend our time on the smaller packet, and that is our graphs. The very first part of the packet is just a narrative, and it's just going to summarize what I'm going to talk about today. If we could flip to the very first graph, it's the 2025 General Fund Operations Recap. We'll get started there. So your general fund started the year with a beginning fund balance of $1,432,000, had revenues of $10,728,000, expenses of $11,164,000. You ended the year with an ending fund balance of $996,000. That was a loss of about $436,000 year over year. Flip to the next graph. Look at your 10-year history of your revenues and expenses. Revenues have been greater than expenses in 8 of the last 10 years. And as you can see, your revenues and expenses have been trending up over the last 10 years, but we're seeing that across the board. Prices are raising for everything. Next, we're going to look at how that affects your fund balance. So the GFOA, which is the Government Finance Officers Association, recommends 2 months worth of operating expenses being your fund balance, and then adjusting for the needs of the district. You guys tend to budget about a month's worth of operating expenses. So while GFO recommends the green line, which is your very top line, you guys are right in line with where you budget to be at. The 996, that's 1.1 months worth of operating expenses. You guys are really close to what you're budgeting, which is great. Looking at your revenues a little closer. So again, your total revenues were $10,728,000. That was down about $343,000. First, looking at your local revenue, you had $1,939,000. That was down about $187,000. Your interest income was down $19,000. And then the rest is due to taxes. So last year, fiscal year 24, the state passed a bill where they're sending you guys money to help lower the levy to help the patrons. So that increased during the year, so more state revenue came in versus tax money. So that increased about $128,000, which accounts for more of your local revenue going down. Looking at your state revenue of $8,786,000, that was down $157,000. Some of that is going to be due to your support units dropping. In fiscal year 24, your total support units were 51.44. For fiscal year 25, they were 48.60, and that number was protected, meaning if your support units drop more than 3%, you're protected at that 3% so that you guys don't take a huge loss in 1 year if your support units drop. So that's 2 years in a row that your support units have been protected. that is going to affect your state income that comes in, as well as last year you guys got some one-time distribution money from the state, and that was $379,000. So that, on top of your school district facility funds that lower your levy, that's how we get to the $157,000 loss. You guys received less one-time distribution, but received more in the school district facility. Your other revenue of $2,121, that's just going to be some sale of assets. You guys had some surplus items that you sold during the year. Taking a look at your state versus local on the next graph, we really see a baseline of about 30% local, 70% state. You guys are 82% funded through the state, which is really great for your local patrons. Your local funding dollar-wise can stay pretty steady, but as the state gives you more money, it's going to increase the percentage of how much you guys are relying on state versus local. So when your state funding goes up, your percentage is going to go up. I'm going to look at your expenditures a little closer. Current year expenditures were $11,164,000. That was up $585,000 from the prior year. Your total instruction of $6,409,000. That was up $138,000 from the prior year. Salaries and benefits were up $225,000. Your purchase services was up $55,000, and that's your contracted services went up for instruction and in support. But then your supplies for instruction went down $138,000 because in fiscal year 25, the SDE created a new account to house textbooks, which is now included in your support function versus your instruction. So if we look over at your support of $4,439,000, that was up $446,000. Your salaries and benefits here were up $291,000. Your purchase services were up $77,000. That's due to contracted services, as well as some one-time funds used for staff professional development. And then your supplies were up $96,000, and that's due to the textbooks now being recorded in support. You had transfers of $315,000. That's due to your Medicaid match of $126,000, your food service FICA match of $92,000, and then your bus depreciation transfer of $239,000. Looking at your payroll and benefit analysis, as you can see, your payroll and benefits, this is a percentage of total expenditures. Your payroll and benefits have stayed fairly steady over the last 10 years compared to your overall expenditures, and you average about 81% of your total expenditures are going towards salaries and benefits. We're going to take a quick look at your plant facility fund. You guys started the year with $1,043,000. You had income of $842,000. That's going to be related to your state CTE grant that you got. That was $594,000. You had interest income of $46,000, and you also had some tax revenue of $193,000. And your expenses of $690,000 is almost entirely your CTE building. You ended the year with $1,195,000, your ending fund balance for your plant facilities. And starting in fiscal year 25, you guys received school modernization funds. You guys received $4,017,499. This is to be spent on school modernization and maintenance. This is where you had to submit like the 10-year plan and then decide if you wanted to take the money in the lump sum or take it over the course of the next 10 years. I haven't seen a single district take it over 10 years. Everyone took it in a lump sum, which makes sense. You can invest it as you guys determine how you would like to spend it. So there was no expenses during the year. Ended the year with $4,017,499. Overall, I think the district is in really great shape. You guys are right in line with where you budgeted your general fund to be. You guys have been for the last 10 years. Overall, the board and management is doing a great job. Is there any questions for me?
I don't have any questions. Yeah, it looks like we're staying within budget, which is what we're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
So, looks like we're doing a good job. Thank you, Jeanette.
As usual, thank you.
That's where the thanks goes, is for
Chip on that cloud.
Was there anything unexpected that came up over the years?
No, nothing unexpected. We used the one-time funds, like, our fund balance went down to 400,000, but that was due to those one-time funds being used. So now we're at normal levels. We're normally not at 1.4 million. It's just because we got those monies at the very end, we couldn't spend them. So, we're right at 1 month and that's what we target, is 1 month of expenditures, just to carry our cash flow to the next year before we start getting state funding. So 2 months, I think, is too much, and I think most school districts are that way.
Mhm.
I think the legislature would look at it, if we had 2 months and say, do you have enough money, and they look at that. So I think staying at the 1 month, around 900,000, that's good budgeting.
I think some of that too is, depending on when your year end is, with you guys being a 6/30 year end, you guys receive a large tax payment in July for all the taxes that were due in June. Where if you're a 9/30 year end, you don't receive your next large payment until January. So having 2 months worth of operating expenses in your fund balance helps you get to the next big tax payment to help you make payroll or whatever your operating expenses might be.
We had our first big payment from the state coming out soon, so
Yep.
we just have to carry that first month of payroll. So yeah, that's what I budgeted. Yep.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right. B, monthly building departments report. 1, Upriver, student leadership, Principal Blackwell.
Is it okay if we do our student presentation first? Okay, that's you.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you families and students for coming. One thing that we're doing this year is we're creating opportunities where there's our leadership positions are multiplied. Instead of, for example, one ASB president, we have team or house leaders, and so that's a great opportunity for the kids. So instead of restricted leadership positions, we have many now. So Mrs. Stoll, our 5th and 6th grade teacher, every year there's so many things that teachers do that they don't get paid for or reimbursed for. She often gets up for lunchtime to do student leadership meetings, and she plans to again lead that, and I'm going to let her kind of take over. And I want to also, the students that will join her are some of our amazing, mostly 5th and 6th graders. We even have one 4th grader here. And these kids are passionate, and they're awesome, and they're going to take on the world, and they're going to be running companies and calling me up to give me like big school donations at some point because they're that awesome. So.
Welcome to Upriver. We're really glad when we get a chance to have you guys come in and we get to showcase here. It's kind of nice. New to us this year is, as Mr. Blackwell was saying, is the leadership positions. In the past, I've always been the student council advisory, and it was based on 6th graders mostly. With the new house system, I have leadership from 4th all the way up through 6th, and they are very passionate about it. I want to introduce you to each one of our leaders, and they are leaders, and they're the leaders in not only in the classroom, but leaders of the school. And our first one would be Mr. Jace.
Thank you for coming to Upriver, and this is like really nervous, like a nervous attack. But the reason the leadership role is important to me, and I'm also the
the student BLT member, and my house is all turismo. The reason it is important to me is that I get to help do things for the school, and mostly that I can bring things that we haven't seen and help with that, and yeah. And do you guys have any questions for me?
I think your house has the most points right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, congratulations.
no, thanks for coming in.
All right.
Yeah, it's always
Bye.
great when kids come in.
Can you turn that
Our
speaker
next
this way?
student is Ella.
We're having a hard time hearing them.
Yeah, I can.
Oh gosh. Hello, my name is Ella. My house is Altruismo, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what my house is about. My house is about showing up to events, being the example, keeping your grades up, motivating and inspiring, and leading the way. Does anyone have any questions? ALT, RUI, yes or no?
This is so tall.
That's what Mrs. Blackwell
Um,
said too.
I'm Austin, and I guess just thank you guys for coming out here. And just, I like being a leader. What leadership means to me is just like helping the little kids and stuff. It's fun, and yeah, and just, yeah, I guess.
Thank you for coming in.
Does anybody have any questions?
What is one of the leadership things that you do for second grade?
I go down there every Tuesday and Thursday and help them with their math and whatever, just extra work and stuff that they need to get done. So does anybody have any questions?
What's your favorite class in school?
It's a hard one. Probably math.
Ooh,
That's why you help with it.
yeah,
Great.
good. Good job.
Hi, thank you guys for coming today. My name is Alan, and I am the House of Friendship Amistad. Okay, and the reason why I like to be a leader is because I like to help people with their problems and help them with any problems they have with other children, find them, help them with other ideas. And the same as Austin said, I go down to second grade and help them with their math and extra work. Do you guys have any questions? AMI-ST-80!
Okay, I forgot to add this, but we're doing a handshake challenge for 6th, 5th, and 4th grade. The 4th grade house, which is Mrs. Maddox's class, and she's the 4th grade teacher who brought this challenge from the RCA house system.
So what we're doing with the shake, you guys all got to experience it tonight. It is to promote walking up, greeting a person, letting them know who you are, that you appreciate that they have come in and are part of your little bubble in that moment. And so we're planning on doing a challenge in December, and we'll be asking community members to come in and shake hands with our kids. And then we'll have another one in the spring of the top 10 handshakers, and they will get to compete overall for best handshaker. And it's kind of fun. We're having a good time with it. My one student's not here. That is Isabindi. So we're going to do our Isabindi. B-I-N-D-I. B-I-N-D-I. Bindi. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Would you guys allow me to ask a couple questions of them, since I noticed there's a couple members that we didn't hear from? So are you game for a question? Okay, because you came out here, we're practicing public speaking skills, and I'll make it simple if the board would allow me to question you guys a couple times.
Yeah,
So,
roll them up.
all right, you came this far. I'd like to practice. So, if you don't, okay. How do you plan to help with school spirit? Who wants to take this? Timber, Sophia, or Sharmi? Well, I want to hear from one of the ones that haven't spoken. So,
Volunteer, or I'll pick.
Or voluntold, one of the two.
how will you help with school spirit? You want it? What do you think?
Like cheering on your team and like having a good time. Showing Panther pride too.
What are some examples or plans you have to help our younger students? Speak from the head and heart. Okay. So some plans you have to help younger students.
Be an example, like showing them what to do, not showing behaviors. Don't know.
Yeah. Math.
All right, Timber, you're up. Ready? Okay. Does having teams or a house system connect you with more students at the school?
We went to the Haven and we could see a lot of people, different people.
I wish you guys could speak more, and I wish you guys spoke more from the head of heart, because these guys are not shy. They do talk. and they have some amazing things. Sophia, as one example, she was talking how she wanted to be a leader once in the office, and I just stopped working, and I was listening to her, and I'm like, we should have recorded that. That was a speech, and that was amazing. So they're awesome. Please come back and visit them, maybe in a different forum or setting, and they'll talk.
All right, yeah, thanks for everybody coming in. We should probably get a picture with them.
Yeah, it's fun. Some fervor. I don't know if I'm talking.
Okay, number 2, Upriver Federal Programs, Strategic Plan. Mr. Blackwell.
All right, we'll start with federal programs. All right, so currently all the paraprofessionals have reached or maintained highly qualified status through passing the testing or having the appropriate amount of college credits. I had to submit a title annual performance report with Danette's help. That got submitted to the state. I attended a federal programs conference and training on October 1st through 3rd. I also had to miss a mandatory federal programs McNevento conference, but I got permission, because people probably would have killed me if I had to miss the sorting day, and so that was the same day. So I got permission. They gave me some homework to do to make up that training, and so I'll be working on that. Consolidated Federal and State Grant Application, or CFSGA as we call it. Had a workshop on May 9th, and I must not have reported this to you, but it's important for getting guidance on accessing important federal funds. We generally have to resubmit that. I think they sometimes have funds get reallocated, and so usually in October, so I'm expecting to hear from them soon about please resubmit this. All right, for Goal 2, College and Career Readiness, at the ESEA and IDA State Conference, we had state personnel, superintendents, principals there, and a State Department staff asked me to speak about chronic absenteeism on behalf of our school. So that was a great opportunity for our district and our school to be recognized, and made some connections. And in the educators' world, this would look, or outside the educators' world, this would look weird. But when you're talking and educators are doing this, that's code for I like what you're saying, but I'm not going to clap and interrupt you. And so people were doing that as I was speaking and talking about some of the things Upriver School and their staff have done, and it was positive. A couple principals, superintendents wanted to talk to me and did, and want to connect and learn some more about that. So that was, I thought, a good thing for our district and school. All right, Goal 3, Safe and Healthy Inviting Place. McKinney-Vento students, we're at 19 right now. Hayburn and especially Tammy Wooster has been a huge help. I think they've helped identify kids through siblings and whatnot in every school in our district. They've really rocked it. But we're at 19. I know there's some more out there. I have a couple more questionnaires on my desk that hopefully will have more kids identified that fit that, so they can get some extra assistance and help. Title I Family Engagement Nights are planned for both elementary schools. Hayburn will be on October 30th. Please come by if you want to see what we're doing there. And then Upriver will be November 20th. It's also our annual Title I meeting, so if families want to learn about Title I, what it does, I'll be speaking. I'm not near as fun as the classes and the learning activities that they get, but if you want to hear and learn a little bit about it, please come by. Food Services has also updated our McKinney-Vento students, so they are eligible for free breakfasts and lunches. District-wide, we currently maintain a status where all kids can get free breakfast, but should that go away, those kids will still be getting that. All right, Goal 4, Communication, Parents, and the Community. Fall Parent Advisory Council meetings have been completed at Hayburn and Upriver. It's a mandatory requirement that we get parents at those, and so sometimes that's tricky, but we do appreciate parents spend a little bit of time and meeting with us so they can learn about and help plan, because we want parent input when we're planning these activities, and we also survey parents that are Title IX, and based on our surveys, we often make changes. One year a parent was like, you know what, it'd be nice if you guys were all in the same area because I have many kids and that's hard to be on a time schedule, and so we made that change. We also get their input on the times that work best, and we try to plan everything, concerts, future family engagement activities to fit what the majority of families are saying that they can attend. All right, other pertinent information. I just locked this down today, so this didn't make your board report, but at our Veterans Day Assembly, we will again have the American Legion Auxiliary coming out to do a presentation. I don't know their presentation yet. They're going to get that to me, but in the past they've done presentations on the symbolism of poppies for Memorial Day, learning about the flags. I think they even did a Star Spangled Banner once also, but we will support that program by having our music teacher, wave your hand, so she's filling in right now. That's Mariah. Do a couple patriotic songs, we hope, and generally, or last year, I know the vets that came, and especially from the American Legion Auxiliary, they really appreciated that, and they were singing right along. We've had a couple awesome Veterans Day assemblies, so if you guys want to come out there, and of course, any vets out there, we're going to invite families and vets to come by. All right, that was kind of, I guess, along the Upriver, so that assembly part, so sorry about that. Just saw it on there and thought about it. Okay, Upriver School Report, Goal 1 Academic Achievement. Goal 1 academic achievement. Upriver recently received a grant from the state. It was right around $16,000. You have to spend it a certain way, so what we're going to do is we're going to get more help from Solution Tree, and there's going to be an associate that visits our staff, and we're inviting some of the other district staff members to when they come out here. So that will be unique. Usually we have to go to them. There's one coming here. I'm also going to get some principal mentorship from that money, where I'll be meeting with them approximately monthly. And we also have some web-based follow-ups that we're going to do with the gentleman who's coming here to give us some help. Upriver has all district benchmark assessments completed as of the end of September. Obviously, the Idaho Reading Indicator, it's a new system called Amira. They test in October this year to kind of give us all a little extra time to get that figured out and all the bugs worked out essentially. Building leadership team has met, and we've established our academic attendance goals for the 25-26 school year to support the district's strategic plan. Book Blast just wrapped up. We've been doing that now, I think, our third year. We had 91% of our students participated. It's really an awesome, fun program. They have a different theme every year, so this was spies. So, we had some staff wearing sunglasses and black coats and award and treasure chests, and then even our SRO Deputy Dorman came to do a couple treasure chest give outs through a random draw. College and career readiness, the building leadership team has begun discussions to establish and focus on interpersonal skills. You heard Ms. Stoll talk about our handshake competitions. That's been so powerful. I walked the sub around recently, and I don't expect classes to stop their learning at the time, because that's kind of a powerful moment for a teacher. You don't want that distraction to take away, but when we're able to catch them on transition, like Mrs. Stoll's students, they're coming up, showing courage, introducing themselves to people, shaking hands, and you just saw her. She's like, "Oh my gosh, your kids are so respectful," and I feel, she didn't say it, but she felt welcomed and invited to our school. And then we went to Mr. A's classroom, and same thing, and some of them now have been working on like asking a follow-up question, giving a compliment. So I heard some of Mr. A's students say, "I like your necklace," or "I like your shoes," or "Tell me how to pronounce your name," those sort of things. And so it's really awesome. So we attended some training, and it was just one of those things that it's like, this is so simple. We got to spend a little bit of time on this, and I don't know if it was through what the trainer said to me or just my own learning, but I was kind of slapped figuratively, and it's like I fell on my own son. Like, academics are great; they're important. The state grades us on it, but we want our kids to like succeed in interviews too. And if you don't have those interpersonal skills, like that might be the difference in getting a job. So these things I think are going to be important. In our building leadership team, we're just having discussions on maybe settle on 5 interpersonal skills that every kid does and does well. And I think handshaking or greeting is going to be one of those. It's been awesome. So I can't wait for you guys to come by and see it. It's really powerful. Okay, goal 3, safe and healthy, inviting place. Our building leadership team, and I know Beth and Superintendent Wrench was able to attend, but we were invited to a state conference in Coeur d'Alene where we were asked to talk about our 3-year growth. Matt and I team, they did such a good job. They really caught their attention. I had an email from a school before we were done presenting, and they want us to speak at their school. Different department, State of Idaho department staff complimented us. Capacity builders complimented them. Anyways, it was apparently they did a really awesome job, and so I thought that was good because people are learning about Upriver and some of the things we're doing, and they deserve so much credit. So it was very cool of you guys to recognize Upriver and me at the last board meeting. I respected the rules. It was tough. I wanted to thank you. I wanted to give credit to those guys. So thank you for that. Since I'm didn't seem appreciative, but that was nice. But also, it's because of the amazing team that we have here that we're able to make the changes, because it's an all-in kind of approach that just saying do this doesn't quite get it done. And they're awesome and deserve so much credit. Okay, at another state conference attended by, I shared that one, the chronic absentees. I'm going to skip that one. Okay, all our drills are caught up, and we have a fire drill scheduled for tomorrow. We obviously had some playground enhancements that you know about. We had the last delivery of bark and a border to put around, and going to try to improve another area. And of course, hopefully you guys saw up front, Joe improved the appearance of the front. We got some new bark out there, and some of the rotting old garden structures are gone. That just they were literally, boards were falling off. I was having to push them on. So the front of the building is looking good. So thank you for helping with that, Joe, and the board and Teresa for supporting that. All right. Parent and student feedback regarding the house system has been incredibly positive. Just a couple things. I've caught a couple parents taking a picture of the scoreboard because their kid's on there, and so that's awesome because it's warm in their hearts. That, there's so much good happening here. We're sometimes not able to share it. So with a quick app, I can punch in some points. I've seen some cool, you can even add comments. I've seen some very heartwarming comments that was sent about maybe a kid doing something good for another kid, and now parents can hopefully get that feedback. And it's a little bit easier. And I always say, because I was a teacher, and I know I'd go home with my children and say, what happened at school? And I don't know, nothing. And it's like, I taught down the hall from you. I heard your teacher teaching, so something happened at school. Well, now hopefully parents get feedback that they had some academic excellence, respect, and a parent at the dinner table would say, well, okay, so tell me about this respect point. So hopefully our parents are a little more connected with what's going on. And feedback on getting the app is it's really easy. I had a couple of our staff parents download it. I also had an email with another parent who said, super easy, I can see both my kids. So hopefully more parents, they obviously don't have to get the app, but hopefully more parents are getting that and are in the loop with what's going on with their parents and the points they're earning. House sorting day also was amazing. Our kids were inviting Hayburn kids to hopefully they'll come and visit our school, so that was great also. Okay, September we recognized students who were friendly. I like to track how many parents come because I know that's important to you guys, and sometimes we need some data on parent involvement. And unfortunately, we only had 20% show up, and our first assembly for student of the month is always one of our lowest. But I expect that to be higher next one, but it's nice that we can reach out to our parents and they can see something positive for the kid here. All right, goal 4, communication with parents and the community. Like I told you, parents have access to the house app. Hopefully, they're all in there. It's really convenient to be able to check in on your kids. And even though we're kind of building the plane as we go and trying to get things caught up, like with pictures and other stuff, parents can see every point that their kid has earned up to this point, even if they log in 2 months from now. And so that's nice that it's all categorized there in inventory for them to see if they missed that. Questions?
I think you covered it pretty well. Yeah, sorry, Jody's got that.
The McKinney-Vento, the 19 students, is that total in the district?
Total in the district as of this point, yes.
Okay.
It's low from where we usually finish. So there's more out there to get identified.
That saddens me.
Yeah. We do send out 2 housing questionnaires, one at the start of the year. It's a requirement by the state and polyfeds. Every student should get one sent home, and then we do a mid-year one too.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else?
I really like the handshaking program. You don't see that a lot with kids nowadays, so that's going to be something good for them for a long time or forever.
Yeah.
And introducing themselves, talking in front of the crowd. Yeah, that's all great things.
Credit to our 3rd through 6th grade teachers for doing that, doing the competitions and making it important. Mrs. Stoll told me the kids are actually enjoying it and liking it, and so it's awesome, and it supports Goal 3 for making the school feel like a welcome, inviting space, and that's exactly what I saw. And you just can't, I don't think
kids learning the right hand is for shaking, not just swiping.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it is incredible.
True.
Right.
I wanted them to do a competition with you guys, but because that was viewed as maybe practice, because they might get feedback, that's why we're not gonna do it. But maybe you guys could be some of the judges if you'd like, and I don't know, do they know the rubric on what they're being scored with yet? Okay, but there's gonna be some key things that you have to do for your handshake to be successful. And it's nothing tricky, it's just a good handshake.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
I am a parent of a Hebron student, 3 of them, and I wanted to give you a little bit of live time. Reagan up there earned a house point today, and that's all we can talk about for academic excellence. For both altruismo, we got to Ms. Bendy fight the rivalry in our home. So he did, and he did. It's hitting our household in a really positive way. Awesome. I'm here to present to you guys some data, some beginning of the year data. As I work through this, I just want you to keep in mind this is such a top-down view. This is such an aerial view. If you have any questions at all, I welcome you. Come and chat with me. Jody's been in several times. Come chat with me about anything you're seeing here that you have questions about. Let's start with goal number 1, Dr. Wrench. Yep. Thank you. So we're looking at increasing our ISAT percentages for proficiency in language arts and math by 10%. So results from 24-25, 54%, we're looking for 60% in ELA, 14% in math. We only have one math teacher right now, Kyla Lyons. I welcome you to come in and watch her make magic. That number is absolutely feasible with Kyla Lyons. Come in and watch her. And then science, we're working off of ISAT as well. We're looking for an increase of 5%. And social studies, so that's our geography and our history, we use our report card. We're looking for a successful grade at 85% of our students. What I'm most excited to share with you all night tonight is our action steps. I'm so passionate about what we're doing. I believe in it. My staff believes in it. We've all subscribed to the work. First, providing research-based strategies and instruction. We're really intentional right now about how we're delivering our instruction. We're looking so explicitly on what that needs to look like. Specifically, formative assessment. After we attended that PLC conference, we know that drives everything. So what worked on today's lesson? What worked on yesterday's lesson? And who needs to see it again? What support do they need? We're not waiting till quarter time. We're not waiting till semester time. What happened yesterday that was successful? We're also very passionate about writing right now across content areas, not continents. But how can Kyla in the math program help support our ELA teachers? How can we align that so students are seeing the same rigor in their ELA class as they are in math in regards to writing? And we've been able to carve out time so that there's regular collaboration between Kyla and our math department, ELA, science, history, that happened today. So we're being very intentional with our time. Go ahead, Dr. Rich. This is something I'm most passionate about. We aligned our schedule right now so that if you are a kid who's struggling in ELA or math, now you have so many different spots you can land depending on what you're already showing mastery in and what your goals are. It wasn't like that last year. There were only a few spots you could land. Now all of our staff are teaching what we call an advisory group. It's during our advisory time. A base group to intervene with students who have not reached proficiency. A bridge group that's helping bridge, the ones that struggle with attendance. You'll see our attendance rates. They're not good. So how do we support those kids that are not showing up every day and make sure that we're still keeping that same expectation but altering the way we get them there? Okay? Extension. There are kids in our school that truly are gifted and talented. And this design offers them a chance to extend those standards and not be stuck in the same grade level material. Okay? So point number 2 and 3, each grade level, depending on where you're at, you have multiple places to land and have that tailored fit education. Finally, Nikki Huddleston hustled, and she got tier 3. If you have any questions about what that is or what that looks like, please come see me. She built that into our master schedule. So those kids that are our highest concern have a triple dip is what we call it. And they have a third time to be served during the school day. that was Nikki just working her magic. You guys allowed us to attend the PLC conference in August. Several of our staff members were able to go. And we are directly applying what we learned at PLC on our Mondays. So every single Monday we have a rich agenda. If you want me to share that, I'd love to show you what we're doing. Yeah.
What's PLC?
Professional learning community. So we went to Spokane, we went the last 2 years, and let me tell you, as I travel and network because of my mentorship programs as a principal, they're all in awe that you guys agreed to send our district. So thank you. We believe in it so much, we've all subscribed to that work. It is amazing that we get the chance.
There's so many acronyms out there.
I know.
It's good that, get that out there.
It is. Please keep asking, Jody. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Dr. Wright. Okay. So a little bit more about PLC, Jody. We went there. We were dedicating our Monday early out time to that. There's 3 teams. Again, my passion is just so high. I'm showing you just one breadcrumb of what's going on in my building. So if you want to know more, give me a call. We have 3 focus areas. Our RTI, so again, that's talking about assessment, what worked in today's lesson and what didn't, and who needs to hear it again, what can we do better to serve our students, okay, all about instruction. We have a grading and assessment team that's examining our current grading policies and aligning them to best practices based on what we learned at our PLC conference. And then we have what we're calling the solutions team. That team is honing in on attendance. What's going on and how can we get our kids there? How can we support our parents? What incentives can we offer? But also what grit can we build in students to show up every day? Nikki Huddleston leads that team as well. And then our BLT, Jody, that's the building leadership team. We
No,
meet once a
not
week.
bacon, lettuce, tomato.
Dude, totally made
You know what the BLT is?
Yeah.
I hear that one all the time.
And we meet once a week as well. Very intentional time. Moving on to goal 3. This one's really near and dear to my heart. We're using the Cognitive survey, and I believe in what I speak of as Maslow before Blue. Maslow, these kids feel safe, they feel warm, they feel welcome. That has to happen before we ask them to take a test. This is very near and dear to me. So the performance target in 24 and 25, 75% of the students would report feelings of safety, happiness, and belonging. We landed at 51. And I want you to know that that's not lost on me. That's weighing very heavy. So that solutions team that we just talked about is taking us on. How do we make sure our kids feel those three things? And I, again, welcome you to come in and chat. We'll talk about action steps in just a second, but together that solutions team has so much right now in the works of how to make sure that happens for kids. Okay. Attendance. We want to decrease the percentage of chronic absenteeism from 25.5 to 20. So a fourth of our students last year were chronically absent. Huge problem.
What was the metric for determining what's chronic absenteeism? I know we talked about it, but I don't remember.
Less than 90% attendance at school, which equates to about 10 days. Okay. We want them to be 10 or under. So a fourth of our students. Again, I'm just trying to be transparent. This is not okay. So this is where our solutions team comes in. We're giving absolute attention this year. What can we do? And TJ has been a great model. His program, he's improved his rates incredibly. So we're going to tailor to him. What's he doing that's successful, and how can we make that happen in our building? Discipline. Our cell phone rate, please take a look at our cell phone rate. It was high last year. We're really advantageous thinking that we can get it down to 15, only because of the amount of education that we've been pumping through parents. Yeah, parents support. I call them and say, hey, we had a violation in the hallway. Yep, take it away. I feel like we've got our parents on board. They understand the importance of having that cell phone in the locker off. So I'm looking forward to their support. Real quick though, Dr. Wrench, is the vaping. Last year, our team poured a ton of attention into that. So we partner with Canada Health. We have some staff members trained in 3 different tiers of vape prevention: in-depth, reach, and then what they're calling third millennium. These kids come in and we're no longer suspending them and sending them home to just vape more. We're keeping them and giving them really, really rigorous education on what it means. So it's been successful. We have less repeat offenders. I'm looking forward to seeing what those numbers look like at the end of the year. Some more action steps. We're really intentional with our behavior flow chart. We hold with fidelity. We hold tight with fidelity to our behavior flow chart to make sure specific things like disrespect and disruption to tier 1. We also establish a behavior committee. A team comes together once a week to just assess the trends in the building, what's going on, what needs more teaching, how are we going to apply our behavior flow chart. Deputy Dorman, she's amazing. She spends a lot of time in my building by choice. She enjoys being there, and she's such a great collaborator. So she's there a lot in classroom. She's involved in a lot of conversations with parents and students. We're appreciating her support. And then again, the counselor to instruct, there's a typo, my apologies. The counselor is going to deliver some instruction to 6th grade classrooms, specifically on the big themes, specific to them making good decisions. So Nikki's got a really great goal of getting in and delivering that tier 1 instruction. We're going to continue recognizing kids for positive behaviors, like our monthly Student of the Month. We'll continue going to the Kiwanis at the firehouse, and they put on a lunch for our students and celebrate them depending on the character trait. There's been a few pictures. You bring over here? Sorry, I have to brag, because Teresa said my Facebook game is awesome. TJ's normally really good at that. Take a look at our Facebook page to see what's going on in our building. Nikki, again, is going to host some IDEFI events. Are we familiar with IDEFI? Idaho Drug Free Youth?
Way back.
Quarterly student recognition assemblies, we're adding that to our schedule as well. And then some PD for our counselor. She's in her master's program, so she's bringing everything that she's learning from school. We're applying it to our goal 3 action steps. In regards to tangible safety, we've been working with Joe and Panacea. Additionally, we want to review our safety protocols and make sure that our families, our students, and our new staff, we have quite a bit of new staff, know exactly what the expectation is. And then ASD, I had to add this. I don't know if I've shared with you guys, every single year, Cherry Rubric, they raise money and they donate a beautification project to our campus. So this last year, we got a lot of new recess equipment for the kids to use. So stay tuned on what they choose for this year. My final thoughts, and I've already said it probably 3 different ways. This is just an aerial view of the data. Those numbers that you saw, there's a soul behind them. There's a story behind them. So please keep in mind that that's our goal in our PLC work that we're very committed to. We're looking to figure out how to help each student, whether that be in instruction, the way that we grade them, and the way that we assess them, and then finally the way we get them to school and keep them safe. So I welcome, come on in, chat with us. So much more that I want to share with you. Thank you.
I really like the RTI stuff where you're breaking the kids out into what they need, and then even going into where, like the advanced and gifted kids have a group to go into too, to where they could keep excelling.
I appreciate you saying that, Paul, because there's so much time that goes into that. There's a team, Matt Rogers heads it up, and they look at not just one factor, not just one piece of the puzzle, not just one snapshot, but truly, what does this kid need on an everyday basis? So I appreciate you saying that. It's a huge part of our day.
Yeah, my daughter's been telling me about it. So, yeah, good stuff.
So just real quick, and this might be for all 3 of the principals, and as a board, I think last year we started kicking around the idea, the conversation about a 4-day school week. I have a friend that's on the board up in Bonner County, and they've actually went to, and I don't know if they started it this year, if it was last year, but they incentivize through attendance and academic achievement. Every other week, kids get a Friday off. Now, it's built into the schedule that they're still meeting the minimum minute requirements, but if you maintain, I believe it's a 75, and you have X number of tardies and absentees, you are then eligible to not have to go to school on Friday. And so it's incentivized that if you're in school, you do a good job while you're in school, and you're on time going to your classes. They're still meeting the state requirements, but they actually get a day off. And to me, it seems like that, just speaking for myself, an extra day off. And again, we talk about a lot of neighboring schools have gone to a 4-day school week, and there's athletic events and whatnot. Things are being scheduled so that kids are taking less time out of the school day. Is that something, just in your guys' off the top of your head?
Well, I'll let my colleagues speak because they're far smarter than I am, but I diving in with you and looking at all the research, because I want to be the pioneer in that. There's a need in my building with attendance. If that's what would incentivize kids to get to school and to do well, I would be a partner in that.
Josh, just so you know, I'm gonna speak to tonight at the superintendent report and at the board development. We just now put a little survey together to start to get some of that input back from staff and from community, so I can bring that back to you all.
Okay.
And also doing some of that research too with other school districts. Right on point.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
One more data presentation.
Oh,
TJ Blackwell has the time limit.
And I apologize if I was board reports, I saw it on the agenda, and then I thought I heard someone say it, so I'll dive right in. Okay. Goal 1 and 2, one of the things that drives me nuts about this data is, the state tells us that they won't count our data with kids that are not continuously enrolled, yet they post it. And so I actually talked to the State Department staff recently about, you say that we're not a hell of a county, but you post this data. So, anyway, so to give you some context, I guess, is like teachers might not teach a student all year long. They might only teach them 10 days, but we have to take the state test. And how they do on that test, good or bad, goes into our data. So our continuously enrolled data is better than this, but I think, well, I know math grew regardless whether you're looking continuously enrolled or all students. I think ELA improved, and then IRI, holy cow, we soared with that's K3 literacy there at the bottom, beat the state average, and that's, yeah, that one was amazing. I believe last year we were 58 or something like that. Some of our action steps. Well, we're doing a lot, but we do 90 minutes of math, 90 minutes of ELA. We do daily math interventions. We do daily ELA interventions. We do have professional learning communities, and those are really, really fun to sit in on and listen as far as the structure of that meeting and how the teachers were really making the most of that. And they actually asked, well, one of them at Solution Tree Training talked about, we need to have some more collaboration time. And so we were able to kind of work that out, and we basically are using the same schedule. So we meet and we talk about data minimum monthly, but it's really it's really every week on Monday. So other strategies is our goals are evaluated and progress monitored monthly at our building leadership team meeting. So we look and we go, okay, last benchmark for progress monitoring, we had this many kids proficient, our goal is this. We even go step by step in our strategies. So one might be that we used was on a chronic absenteeism. We talked about, are your attendance calls caught up? Are your attendance calls caught up? So we hold each other accountable. We don't just write down the goals and then look at them later. So we went from scoring ourselves beginning of year, mid-year, end of the year to look at how we did with our goals to really we're looking at them monthly. Other things, we have our staff committed to goal setting and reflective conversations. That's a proven research method for accelerating academic achievement. We have essential standards through our PLCs established. We have a behavior coalition to look at hot spots of behaviors and try to come up with strategies to address those. I know that might fit more goal 3, but it's this weird thing if you get the kids to school and keep them in class, our teachers can do some pretty amazing magic, and that helps with goal 1 and 2. You'll notice at the bottom I have some other strategies for that match attendance, because I think that fits the goal 2 college and career readiness. If you're not attending your classes, you're going to flunk. If you're not getting to work, you're going to be unemployed. So we have those strategies. I've also added the teaching explicit interpersonal skills. We're trying to make school more engaging and fun, so it helps to get kids here and learning. We also look at our 3-year ISAT trends. We have a department gives you, but it's not easy to get data in there. That's very rigorous. And so we have our school psych that was able to give us that data, help that put together with me, and then we look at gaps, like what areas are kids not scoring well. And we also have some ISAT blueprints that kind of show what they put the most weight in on prior tests, and we look at that. What else do we do with that ISAT trend? Oh, the ISAT trend is nice because it also gives you some access to teacher tools. So you look at an area that you're weak in, you click a link, and then you maybe give some sample questions that might help your teaching. So you're like, okay, those are the questions that I got to work on in the next student, or that's what I need to work on in the next student. So also giving the kids exposure to what the test questions might look like. So those are valuable in a resource for the state. That the resource by itself is nice, but getting the 3-year trend data together, that's rigorous. Okay, moving on to goal 3, provide safe, healthy, and inviting environment for all students. 24-25, we had 75%, and it looks like the end of 24-25. So maybe the first ones are our target. Sorry. End of the year, we were at 83% of our students reported that they felt safe, respected, and welcome at school. And I apologize, I didn't get to talk to my building leadership team to set a target on this, because we do have goals within our strategic plan, but we don't really have a SMART goal that's measurable for it. So I just put 100%. We want all kids to feel welcome and invited here, and we think we're off to a good track with that one so far. All right, attendance rate. Like I said, I look at this as a goal 2 thing called extra readiness, but it also fits in with goal 3. So Upriver's SMART goal is to have no more than 15% of our students being chronically absent based on the state's report card measurement for the current year. So last year we finished at 82%. That was amazing. That was growth from the prior year. That's average daily attendance. So 18% was the bottom. So for chronic absenteeism. So we improved by nearly a percentage point there. The next slide is gonna. I'm sorry, Dr. Wrench. I had to add this because this tells the story of our school. And before COVID-19 and 20, we had about 33% of our kids chronically absent. I looked through the state report card, and I looked at all other district schools in our district. I looked at all similar elementary schools. I could not find a school that had a worse chronic absenteeism in that year. Skip 2021, that was a weird year for tracking data. The COVID year, as we call it, the Camden packets need to be counted. So go back to 21-22, the state reported that everything was worse with attendance. We were basically unchanged. And so that was relevant to me and something that I had to look at as far as the state's significantly worse. We're basically the same. So then every year we were able to make gains from that 34.7 to 26.1 to 18 to 17.2. So I just wanted to go further out because that tells the story, and we're getting a lot of recognition for that. And like I said, it's amazing. You put kids in school, you get them to stay in class, they learn our teachers do things. So next slide, discipline data. In our behavior coalition, we do have goals set. Last year we tried to include more kids into PBIS activities. This year's goal is we're aiming to see, I apologize, this is all students, but I think we're aiming for 75% of our students to receive a house point for respect. We've already done a respect challenge to try and get kids focused on being respectful and earning points for that. As Beth mentioned, if I were to go further back, we have a couple years in the 500 disciplines. I think 525, 518. There's a lot of work going on. In 1 year, we cut that down to 268. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Last year, we nearly got under 100. We got at 102, and so that's been amazing. And so, again, a combined effort by everybody, teachers, behavior technicians, secretaries, everybody. Action steps. All right, so some things that we're doing for goal 3 is we have our school-wide expectations visible. We have staff that committed to those expectations because actually, I think this gentleman here, Jace, gave me some feedback last year about our incentivize these. We want students to go home and communicate about our Panther Path to Success, their expectation everywhere, and have a parent sign a certificate that they had that conversation with their parent about what it means to master the Panther Path to success. We're also, like I said, we're trying to do a team system here, or a house system. It's great that we're all Panthers. It's great. Like, we are Panthers. We're Panthers first and foremost. But what this is doing is we're able to do some friendly competition, because no, we don't want to say you think you belong in that house, but it's okay to have some like pride that you're a Panther, you belong to a certain house. And so we're trying to do more competitions that can hopefully encourage better outcomes for our kids, whether it's feeling more welcome and invited here, to improving academics, to improving attendance. And so our students didn't talk about that, but man, they're passionate. They love the spirit chants and whatnot. We did a spirit day where we asked for someone to judge which house has the most school spirit. And that's one way we were able to get someone from the community to come in. And so we might do some more of those coming up. If anybody out there wants to judge that, please come in. I think Altruismo, who has just been dominating the scoreboard, won that one. So hopefully one of the other houses, particularly mine, would win the next one. So, but it's just something fun. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I'm not going to go over every one of these, but we invite families in for our assemblies, like our Veterans Day. We also invite them in for Student of the Month. We had a reptile lady here. We invited that to the community. We want them coming in, so please come in, see, ask questions. And we got a couple more assemblies coming up too that we put out there and make it public.
All right, jumping to your final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
There it is.
Okay, there's the
Bring
hook.
us home.
So it's not really magic. We have everybody buying in, and that's where we're making the dividends. My voice would fall flat if it's please do this, but I have runners here that pick it up and they make it happen. They spread it out. They adopt it, and we do a shared leadership. I run ideas by them, and sometimes they disagree with me, and sometimes they agree with me. And we try to ultimately, I feel we all come from a place where we're trying to do what's best for the kids in the school, and so we make a lot of our decisions that way. Questions?
Hey, thank you, TJ.
I see you're hesitant.
No, you're so passionate, and I love how passionate you are about your school, your staff, your kids, your families, the work you're doing. And you're getting results and proving that your work is the right work, if you will. And you truly, I watched your team speak. When you talk about 100% of the kids, you are working so hard until you truly get 100% of the kids to meet every standard and beyond. And the team spoke so well at the region meeting. They're speaking at our in-service, just about some of the work they've done with improving attendance, improving academics, what not just a team means when you're collaborating and conversing, but what a high-impact team means. And not just what teaching and leadership looks like for the day, but what evidence-based and research-based and high-impact leadership and teaching looks like to get results. So, thank you again.
Thank you.
Principal Blackwell.
Thank you.
Snaps and claps.
Yeah. All right, written building reports. We got the Hayburn. Anybody have any questions? Dr. Kush is here, so. My computer died.
You have Hayburn and the high school's written reports. If you have any questions, both principals are here. I'd just like to point out their early literacy results with Hayburn, and also I'd like to point out both the elementary and the high school, some of the steps they're taking to really have kids feel respected and connected to improve that attendance. And then once the kids are in front of their staff, to let the teaching and learning happen. And the high school, they've got the champion, everybody be a champion to the students. I just want to point that out. And then you've got the department reports as well, if you have any questions.
Correct.
Transportation facilities, special education, and food service. And I'll just highlight the facilities and maintenance team for tackling the entryway or front of upriver. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe Gilmore and team. Looks good.
Okay. Moving on, D, District Continuous Improvement Plan, 2025, 2026. Superintendent Lynch.
This, you have it in your board book. You also, people can find it on our website or at the Idaho report card. It's just it's really a compliance document. It's a sliver of our comprehensive strategic plan, right? So it asks us to share our graduation and college and career rate, and it asks us to share our language, arts, and literacy results, which you've seen, and you'll see again from me in November or December when we revisit one more time our strategic plan. So it's just a small sliver of what you heard tonight, right? Our district and our schools have 4 goals, and so it's, with our academics, it's more than just our early literacy and language arts. It's also math, history, and science, all our content areas, including the graduation and college and career readiness. Our strategic plan goes farther and it's more comprehensive, and it has goals 3 and 4. So we really pay attention to our outreach to our families and community, as well as that goal 3 that we want to have, a safe school where kids feel important and respected. So you saw a little bit tonight from 2 schools and their results in those 4 goals, and you'll hear from the other 2 schools, Hayburn and the high school, in November. And then I'll just surmise it back to our district-wide comprehensive strategic plan. Our results, our 4 goals, some action steps we're taking to continue to see our kids feel important and continue to grow academically.
Yeah, just looking at this versus like our strategic plan, is it?
Sliver.
They've got a lot of things are alike, but yeah, it just doesn't have near as much in there. It has goals. Yeah.
Any way you can turn these pages next time?
I'll take in with our board clerk on that one.
Yeah.
We just wanted to make sure everybody was still awake, an hour and a half into the
Okay.
meeting.
Yours is laid out differently. See, it has this mute button right there.
Oh,
Is that that one? Is that that?
yeah.
No, that one.
If you look at the website or the report card, you'll see the right way.
Just a simple request.
Sometimes you just have to turn your computer.
Well, yeah, just look back and read the book, you know what's going
There's a
on.
button too, though.
Mine has a great little nifty little button right there.
Yeah, that's smarter than I am.
All right, anybody have any questions for that? Okay, E, Idaho School Board Association activities.
Mention?
Yeah, we've got the ISBA annual convention, November 12th to the 14th. In Coeur d'Alene, so that's easy to get to.
Can I get us rooms at Bonner's Ferry?
Perfect.
Oh, okay, just checking. Spokane? Oh, okay, all right.
All right. So we got any questions about that? F, patrons. Oh, yeah, we need to take a 5-minute break before we do patrons. All right.
Didn't we have anyone sign up?
We have patrons and our open forum that want to speak before the board, we have a policy that pertains to this. It's 204.04, and it's a request to appear before the board. And so there's a couple of things when you're addressing the board that, due to things that are sensitive in nature, comments and complaints about personnel and individuals will only be heard in executive session. Okay. And then if you have complaints, any complaint about the district, including instruction, discipline, district personnel, policy, procedure, or curriculum, should be referred to through the proper administration channels before it is presented to the board or considered for action. All right. With that being said, we'll go to patrons. Nicole Staten.
Thank you, board, and Dr. Edge, superintendent, for giving me the time to speak today. I would first like to just state that I'm here as a parent. I have many years as a school district employee, but first and foremost, I'm here today as a parent. I have 3 children in the school district, 2 current, 1 that will be as they grow. I really have a lot of respect for the hard work and dedication of the board and of the superintendent. I am grateful to live in an area where you can have an easily open forum like this. I went to a high school that had 300 something graduating students, so this is, I'm really looking forward to this for my children. When I heard the news that the 2 elementary schools were asked to pull all the Harry Potter books, I was very saddened and frustrated. When I inquired as to why, I was told it was just a task given through email to building principals. There was no explanation as to why or who had given the directions. Upon speaking to several staff, PTO members, parents, it was confirmed that no one else had been given any additional information, even when they inquired through the proper channels. I've had the opportunity to speak with Dr. Andrews several times within the past few weeks, and with Dr. Ince this afternoon through email, and they have shared with me that this decision was made hastily, but that is only temporary, as you guys are working to resolve the issue. I do appreciate that information, but I am still left with questions as to why it was made to begin with. And I don't know, my opinion is that there was an article in the newspaper that may have contributed. And I've also heard that there are some individuals that are opposed to the Ron Clark Academy house system that the elementary schools recently adopted, which may have contributed as well. My overall concern is that it does not appear that the proper procedure was followed per the board policies. I have highlighted a bunch of policies, which I know I don't have time to read, within my limit, but policy 0603.09, challenge of educational materials. Harry Potter books I don't think are considered educational materials. However, the person that wrote the article seems to think they are educational materials, which I appreciate the board's follow-up in the newspaper following week, clarifying that. That policy states the Board of Trustees will honor reasonable requests from parents that their student not be forced to read something which the parents do not approve. However, the board will not allow one parent to dictate what another parent's student may read. And I'm not saying one person made that decision, I'm just saying don't make my kids suffer because somebody else doesn't like it. In closing, I want to say that I'm here to share my support and favor in both the house system and the Harry Potter books. And even though the board has already written to the paper to clarify that, I just want to assure anybody else, those are 2 completely separate entities. They are not the same thing. We are not using that curriculum as an anti-bullying curriculum, Harry Potter. This academy system has been, even just in the short 2 months that I've seen it in place, it gives me joy to see, open my app and give a student a point for anything that you can put in there. And just seeing the staff getting involved. And TJ and Victoria have both given us lots of examples why. And I thank Mrs. Cole for having her students here because that gives me a little bit more faith that students are also really enjoying it. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time.
Yep, thanks for coming in. All right. G, open forum visitors. We have 3 visitors. Amy Shinus, you could be first. Yes, please. And pertaining to policy 204, 04, 04.
Yeah, I just had a brief question, discussion about policies in general and this one in particular, but when we're updating policies, this is something that I've run into recently with Assembly app. You're seeing the updates that the committees are making to the policies, but you don't have any access back to what that old policy was. So I feel like there should be an archive, or possibly the old system that used to give access to those policies should be available to the community. And in particular, one of the policies recently referenced an old policy, and you could not access that old policy. So my hope is, moving forward as we're working for this transparency, not only are we showing the updated versions of what we're working on with the policies, that we have those old policies available for the public to review. So that was primarily that, and I know this 20404 was kind of posted out there for people to review and stuff, but I did have some concerns on that, and I don't know if it's appropriate to address those or not right now, but I do think in point 3 it says kind of the chair of the board has the ability to shorten or lengthen an individual's opportunity to speak, and they can't speak on the same subject within the last 2 months. And I really think that the board shouldn't have the authority to choose who they want to listen to. That all community members should have the same opportunity to speak during a board meeting, and that those taxpayers are stakeholders in the actions of the board, and that they should have that equal opportunity to speak. And another example of my concern with that is you can't speak on the same subject within the last 2 months. Potentially the board could limit that, but often you're reviewing policies 2 to 3 months in a row. So if you've spoken on that policy once and there's been updates made, then you could be limited from speaking on that policy at the next board meeting, and I don't think that is really appropriate for public comment on policy changes. That's it, unless anybody has some questions for me.
Nope. Up next, Gary Crandall. It's also on 204, 04.
I'll keep it super short this time. On this one, I would just suggest maybe where it says the board chair may shorten or lengthen, to just strike the shorten. 5 minutes is, pretty good time. And if you're planning for a 5-minute presentation, to get it shortened right when you show up is kind of tough to present on key points. So I'd just say if you have it 5 minutes, you want to bump it to 10, that's great, but don't want to shorten it any longer. And I do appreciate you guys getting some clarification on some of this, because I know this has been a point of confusion in the past, so I think there's some good stuff in here.
All right. Brad Nanke, Zone 5 vacancy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board and staff. My name is Brad Nanke, and I'm a qualified applicant to be appointed to the Zone 5 vacancy on the St. Mary's School Board of Trustees. I applied and was interviewed by the board. I stand behind my application and willing and able to serve in that position for Zone 5. I've become very confused and concerned about the process that I've been involved in to fill that vacancy, specifically regarding parliamentary procedure, open meeting rules, and compliance with the Idaho state statutes. And in regards to the vacancy, state statute IC 33504 sub 3 lays out the requirements for filling a vacancy of a school board trustee. And its intent is very clear. It states the board of trustees shall appoint to a vacancy a person qualified to serve as trustee of the school district. And then some other text that doesn't apply in this case. And then such appointment shall be made within 90 days of the declaration of vacancy, and that is today. Today is day 90. After 90 days, if the board of trustees is unable to appoint, not unwilling, unable to appoint a trustee from the zone vacated, the board of trustees may appoint a person at large from within the boundaries of the school district to serve as a trustee from the zone where the vacancy occurred, otherwise after 120 days goes to the county. In legal drafting, shall is traditionally used to impose a mandatory obligation. I've had to fill vacancies in my previous role as a city councilor probably 5 or 6 times over the 20 years I served. And if one person showed, and it's easy. It's like you don't have to run a campaign or anything. It's like you show up and the board makes a decision on who fills that vacancy. And it is compulsory. We have one person show up, they get appointed, whether I like them or not. And again, I've done that many times. The way I read Idaho's code in that, it's exactly the same as the code was in Oregon. The word may is directory, where after those 90 days you may or may not appoint an at-large candidate. And then again, for the Board of Commissioners, after 120 days they shall. And they're not going to leave it vacant either. It is truly obligatory. And I sent that information to you when you were reviewing the vacancy board policy at your last special meeting. I don't know if it all got to you or not. Describing the unable versus shall versus will is all I heard for comments that came up when you were reviewing that policy. So I reached out to the Attorney General's office, got a reply back that they're not allowed to give interpretations to the public, so I reached out to my senator and my 2 House reps to see if they could assist me with that as well. But my name is still open and available for appointment. It's truly the point I wanted to get you across this evening. I've received letters and emails speaking to the board had a tough decision, but I was not selected. And then I received the email from the clerk that the notice of violation for the open meeting was going to be processed again at your special meeting where I attended. There's no opportunity for public comment at necessarily a special meeting, and so that's the reason I'm here this evening regarding the declaring null and voids. The special meeting, the recording didn't start until the word null and void, so we missed the entire portion on the self-cure and the notice that public or open meeting rules were violated. So that was difficult to go back and actually play with. One last piece in regards to the public notice for the vacancy for Zone 5. The public notice on the district's webpage states the Board of Trustees has a period of 90 days from the declaration of vacancy to fill this position with a qualified individual who resides in Zone 5. If this does not occur, the board may appoint a person at large. If this does not occur, it's not the same as if the board is unable. And again, I think the state statute is very clear. Again, today is day 90. You have the ability to add an item to your agenda per your rules. All right, thank you very much.
All right. H, Superintendent Report.
I'll keep it short. Just started off with a couple pictures. I think it's just fun to see staff and kids. So you heard a lot from our principals tonight about their hard work and the results that we're striving for. So it's just important to remember that all of our work is for our students, and the numbers that we're seeing and continuing to see improve are about our students. This one is field trip, which I'll talk about in a couple of slides. I can mention this again, that at our welcome back at the start of the school year, we just talked about how all the departments hone in on their operations and their due diligence in their department so that the teaching can be freed up to teach and the students can be freed up to focus on their learning. Couple highlights. There was recently 2 field trips. One was our middle school forestry to a U of I location, and one was our 11th grade environmental class. They went to a forestry location, I guess I should say salvage site, in Potlatch, and those are the pictures. It was very informational. I had a chance to be there as well. Chief Jody Hendricks there as well, and then our students. A 6th, 7th, 8th grade class and an 11th grade class, I believe. And just very hands-on, very informational. Again, the people presenting are people that have a variety, one job within the whole timber industry, right? And there's many jobs, and they're very excited and they're very knowledgeable. It's just neat to watch our kids gain that knowledge and learn all the different jobs related to the timber industry and feel proud, right? And know that those are very valued jobs. The timber industry itself is very valued and an integral part of northern Idaho and the economy here. So, great experience for our kids. Lots of good feedback. Other highlights, our school violence prevention program, SVPP grant. That safety group that we're working with, Panacea, and one of their consultants helped me write this SVPP grant, and we applied for $472,000, and we received just minus $80,000, so a little over $390,000. And the money is earmarked for continued equipment and hardware for our buildings. Some interior doors, particularly at the Hayburn, some bullet-resistant film on our very exposed classrooms and windows, so particularly at the high school, and those flip locks that you've seen us practice with, where should there be an assailant or intruder, you can lock the doors from inside and not have to open up the door, put yourself at risk. So those are some of the top 3 added hardware or software for the buildings to continue to promote that safety. So we're very excited about that. And CTE shop is another highlight. There's some pictures. It's almost complete. Oh my gosh, you got walls and you got a roof. And so it's expected to be completed by December 15th, if not sooner. And we'll probably have a ribbon cutting in the spring. So stay tuned for that. And that'll be 2 of our new added auto mechanics and forestry CTE pathways for high school, but we're looking to extend that 7-12, as you know. There's a couple other micro mini CTE grants. The high school applied for one for our current wood shop, and I applied for one for our new forestry. Just some additional equipment, a wood miser particularly, and a skidster. And then again, I just want to highlight our staff and principals. You hear all of their focus on teaching the students the grade level standards and beyond, and just the hard work that our staff are doing so that our kids reach these 4 goals, and ultimately that 100% of our students, not some, but 100% of our students reach this vision the time they walk across the stage. And then there's just a few calendar dates and communication, but I think we're in good shape. And a report.
All right. Yeah, I attended that Panacea training there in high school. That's a lot of good information, a lot of teamwork building. Yeah, it's great training.
Mitch comes across a little strong, but he's got good intentions.
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely passionate.
Oh, Craig, yes, yes, he is.
And the best part is that it's 3 years long. We had a one-on-one conversation, and he said it's a culture change. And you just come in and do one training. Well, 3 months later, nobody remembers anything you did. But when you keep practicing, developing those, the internal muscle memory of how to react to certain situations, you're changing a culture. And
Well, and I'd asked him about what's after 3 years, and, they're not opposed to looking after that either,
in a type of maintenance.
Yeah,
type
maintenance
thing.
kind of thing,
Right.
so,
Keep improving.
yeah.
But those procedures get worked into our district procedures, so even as staff changes, it just becomes part of the way things are done.
But again, one thing that's amazing to me about that group is they've got access to the world of incidences like that. They've talked to different people that, and one thing that stuck in my mind there when I first got with them was I don't know what country it is, but they see things that are happening in this country, and it's about 6 months before it hits the United States. And so they can see stuff coming before it gets here. And then, they've got, like I said, they've got access throughout the United States with different people. People know people that know people kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a whole different world.
Yeah,
That security world
but
is
it's
a whole different.
pretty interesting. When I took Lucas to Boise, him and I went twice, and then the second time I went down there with him and Mitch and to talk to the whole state about it. It was a pretty good trip. I learned quite a bit about some guys, and they're passionate at what they do. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Board request to administration about the board development. Have anything for?
I'll give you an update on where we're at, and then there's homework on gathering input from the community and the staff, and doing some research around the four-day student work week. So, I'm continuing with that research. I just want to let you know, checking in with other school districts, particularly on cost savings, what does athletics look like, what was another big one? Oh, attendance, does attendance improve for kids and staff? And then sending out, the principals are gonna send out a survey, if you will, gather input from the staff to understand what that 4-day work week would look like. Are they interested? Because teacher morale is a big piece of it. Some feedback from the 4-day work week, and also send it out to the community and see their preliminary thoughts on what it would look like.
Yeah, absolutely. Get input from the parents, how they're gonna deal with their kid being home an extra day of the week.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we are, and I'll bring some information back at least by December, just to give you a little update on where we're at with that. And still working on the non-lethal device options and policy, so that's at the forefront. And then I have not initiated this yet, but I know we wanted to revisit our adult dress code.
Right.
Just on a level of professionalism that we all talk about, and being good models and examples. We're taking a look at that. Those are 3 pieces of homework. Oh wait, let's just say hi to the dogs real fast.
All right, anybody have anything else that they need to have a work on? All right, action items. A, review and consider a motion to approve 2024-2025 audit report.
Move that.
Second.
We got a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Review and consider a motion to approve 2025-2026 continuous improvement plan.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Okay,
That's a change order that we had requested before they finished the walls and cement, the flooring, if you will, to go ahead and add that extra wiring of where we're gonna want, lights and cameras.
So moved.
Second.
I think we need to say the price.
Oh.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah,
4,500.
I'll move to approve the contract and potential change order number
Yeah.
009 for the total amount of $4,500 and no cents.
Second.
I got a motion by Josh, second by Jody, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Review and consider a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.